Settlers of Kalguris brings many buffs to the game while also nerfing a few things. The new league mechanic looks interesting, recombinators are back, and now there are pretty powerful weapon enhancements as well. What's up guys, Bridget here. Let's start with the biggest thing that is affecting us Tonky build users. In 3.25 they nerfed pretty hard fist damage taken as elements modifiers. Before the patch, 100% was not a problem, which you already seen in the past leagues. I can clearly say who used this mechanic most of the time to reach insanely high effective HP pool, but now it's not possible to reach that. If we want to be realistic, we can reach like 78% as a melee character, 58% as a ranged character. The reason is they removed entirely the fist damage taken as cold from Taste of Hate. Now it gives fire and lightning damage taken as cold damage, which is, I would say, right now not too big a deal. Also, doesn't even worth utilize this one in the current state of the game. So we lost here 23% already if you was using as a pathfinder. The next big change is now you can craft on your items physical damage taken as elements. They just removed many modifiers from the game entirely. The modifiers we used pretty often is the fist damage taken as fire helm craft from Betray mechanic. At league start we was using the body armor craft as well. That was the same, but it's gone as well. The list goes on. Next nerf is the Watcher Eyes. Watcher Eyes can throw physical damage taken as elements from now. They will update with the new modifiers, but honestly, I don't know what will be. I think maybe it will give percentage damage reduction to the corresponding element. For example, you're using Purity of Lightning, because of that you will take less damage from lightning damage if you have the Watcher Eye mod. I just speculating, so don't take this seriously. This is already enough to kill most of our builds. Sadly, the list is not stopping here. We take a hit on the damage side as well. They removing from the game Divine Blessing support. We straight up losing entire damage aura. For example, you know, last build of the league was the Explosive Trap Trickster. We used Divine Blessing setup. Alone, the aura was giving us 25% more damage. Now it's gone. I need to rework the build. This is also applied to any build that was using the Divine Blessing setup. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the builds are dead, it's just weaker than before. Just don't plan to tank Uber Cirrus Meteor or Shaper Slam. Overall, pretty sad they just nerf these things without any compensation. The question is now how you can deal with the physical damage on the right side of the tree. Only option is Lightning Coil, and if you a melee build, you can use the Dawnbreaker. So this change is pretty sad. I don't know what I can do now. Maybe it's better to change my name from Mr. Tonkiness. Just kidding guys. You really think this could stop me? These nerfs? Let me show you something. This was one of the Immortal build from last league. You can see here, we live versus Uber Cirrus Meteor, right? Now after the patch, this is what we can do. This two build is the same. I changed a few things and we golden. More about later. Luckily, we got buffs as well, just not on the right side of the tree. Honestly guys, before this patch, I did not know there is a left side of the tree, because it was not worth to go there. They changed this not even a little. Let's start with the biggest changes that we maybe could use later in future. First and the most important change is the endurance charge changes. Now we provide 4% less elemental damage taken per endurance charge, while we also getting the less physical damage taken as well. This change is pretty huge, because the left side of the tree had issue mitigating the elemental damage. Yesterday I theory crafted a little and I ended up with 7 endurance charges, while also there is a weapon that provides even more damage reduction per endurance charges. So I ended up 49% less damage taken from elemental damage, and this is with a few points invested on the tree. This is just theory craft guys, so don't trust 100% what I'm saying on this one. Also, we got huge changes to war cries. There are two that stands out the most. The first is Enduring Cry. Now it will give you 2% life regen per 5 power up to 25 power. By default, without any increase on the effect, this is 10% life regen. If you add a few increases like the Warcry node on Chieftain and grab a few Warcry nodes, you can reach 20% life regen per second. I think we can agree on that. This is insane. The best thing, you didn't have to invest too much points on the tree for this one. The other one is Ancestral Cry. By default, you will get 5% elemental resistance per 5 power and 1% to maximum elemental resistance per 10 power up to 30 power. So 15% elemental resistance and 3% maximum elemental resistance. Now on this one we also can increase the effect, pretty much doubling the effectiveness. So 30% elemental resistance and 6% maximum elemental resistance. These two Warcry will be the key to make new Immortal builds with different ascendancies. Only downside, you have to press Warcry every few seconds, but when we get the bigger picture with the updated path of building, I can start theory crafting. Only question is how we will deal high damage. This is when the big melee buffs come in. I mean, on paper the numbers looks good, but I don't know how it will perform in game. I think all the melee skills got huge changes. It would be pretty long to go over all of them, so I will just focus a few that is, I think, the biggest winner and potential to be worth to try. First is Double Strike. Also this skill has VAR version as well, so the boys is back in town. Pretty huge percentage effectiveness of base damage and added damage. We will just take a look, level 20, so this gem got from 140% to 409% and lost the added base physical damage. I think this is pretty huge buff on paper. We will see how it will work out and how it will feel with the new quality changes on weapon. And of course, all the versions got updated as well. Earthshatter is the next one on the list. And the reason is why I including here, cause you have to know Earthshatter is a multiple hitting melee ability and it has good AoE as well, so we don't need to use Ancestral Core for clear. And if we pairing the new buffed Warcries and the exerted attack increases, then this should be good. This skill is not get that much effectiveness of base damage and added damage increase, but it should be pretty noticeable on mob bosses and on Ubers. Next one is Ground Slam. The reason is why it's here because this skill has built-in more damage modifier at close range and also has pretty good AoE that you can increase even further to become almost a ranged skill. And now with the buffs on the effectiveness of base damage and added damage, it should be pretty strong, and also again Warcries will help with the damage even more. Lesser rate I put here because I'm big fan of the anime Bleach. If you're not familiar with it, the main character used the sword and doing attacks like this skill, and it's pretty epic for me. Also don't forget it got buffed as well like the others. It could be pretty fun even if you just mopping with this skill. I definitely will try out, even if not making a full build around it, should be fun for a few maps. The next skill on the list is, I would say, it was already broken before the buffs, but holy moly guys. I'm talking about Molten Strike. I think everyone remember my bleed from last league. Honestly, I don't know why they buffing this, but hey, I will take it. The numbers on this one is just insane to me. I can't wait to build again the Molten Strike Trickster and Conqueror the endgame again. Reeve is the next, and the reason is because this was meta back in the day. This ability has a pretty huge area coverage, and now with the buffs it could be pretty usable if not for bossing but for mopping. I tested on the Energy Shield Stacker Trickster this ability few leagues ago and it was fine, but now, oh my, I can't wait to try it. Tectonic Slam is on the list as well. Also, I'm very interested in. Back in the day, this skill was super enjoyable to play and it also has big aura effect, but with time they forget this skill exists. And I think it got nerfed as well, directly or indirectly. But now it's back, and the main reason is why this is here, because I'm planning to use this skill maybe even at league start as well. More about this after we got updates to POB. For the last one, a spicy one. That's the Shockwave Support Gem. It got as well effectiveness of base and added damage increase. But not only this, the infused channeling support as well, and we can put here Cyclone as well, because this free gem is works together. And I think this could be pretty huge even if you want to start with this. It has good numbers, you can use the new Warcry effects, and you can deal damage while moving. Perfect combination. We got ascendancy changes as well. The most interesting to me is the Chieftain. This ascendancy was interesting to me before that, but now with this new Warcry node it's pretty interesting to build around. Not only the 30% Warcry effect, but the infinite power as well. This could lead pretty huge damage and tonkiness as well in certain situations. JUGG is also received a little change, not huge but interesting. Before the change, this was the endurance charge checking class. Now even more true because of the endurance changes that we was talking about earlier. In short, we will take less damage from elemental damage with endurance charges. Also, I have in mind a tectonic slam and ground slam build, but I'm waiting for the POB get updated. This too has potential to build around when you want to make Tonky builds. Sadly, the reworked raider aka Warden is not too good to get Tonkiness in a build, but it's pretty impressive how much damage a Warden can deal. Also, it got interesting notables like Barkskin, but honestly in Affliction League I was not satisfied with this aura. They even put a weird node behind it, that is reducing the flat damage you take while you have Barkskin. I don't think anyone wants to pick this one unless I'm missing something. And the surprising thing, we got back the tinctures and Warden can make apply to ranged weapons. Even you can use 2 if you can handle the downsides. We don't know yet what modifiers coming back, so we have to wait for this one. And we have the rework Gladiator. I'm little disappointed in this one. I was hoping block rework on something like that. Of course, there is a few interesting note here as well. The Weapon Master. I think almost anyone that saw this one immediately thought Varnasutra unique sword, which could be good use of this node, but sadly the weapon base damage is little, but who knows, with this new buffed melee skills, which one can take advantages. The other node is a weird one, just like at Warden. War of Attrition. Every second you gain more damage when a rare or unique enemy in your presence. The weird thing is, there are no duration on this one. So right now, looks like you will keep the stacks as you go through map. If this is worse like that, I can see it, someone can use it. Otherwise, it would make no sense. The exploding node is still there and it got a little buff and we got bleed buff here as well. This node do the same thing just like when you tick is the enemy moving bugs in POB, so triple your bleed damage. This node is a nice help for bleed builds, but right now I can see it would be meta unless we can figure out something when POB gets updated. When is the league starters coming? May you asking this question? Well, I prepared 2 already. Good old Toxic Ring Pathfinder and Explosive Trap Trickster. Both still pretty strong, and yes, I will make melee league starters as well. I just waiting for the patch Path of Building, so you can guys see what you can do with the new melee buffs. I could right now post something, but it would be a little scuffed because of the custom modifiers. Verify making a mistake on the calculation side, it could be pretty bad because maybe we getting super good results on paper, but in the game you would struggle. I don't want to bait anyone. Overall, the patch is pretty big meta shakeup if they got it right, the melee buffs. So many nerfs, buffs, changes, and also the league mechanic is interesting, but my problems without trying it, that's the timers. I played games like that and honestly, it's not a good feeling to just wait. But time will tell how the league plays out. On the first day of the league, I will start a subathon thingy when you can make my league start miserable and much harder. The details is not set yet. For this occasion, I will accept suggestion for this punishing league start, so if you have any idea what would make harder the league start, what would be funny to see, join me and tell me your idea, or just comment under this video or the next ones. I hope you enjoyed this patch rundown. If you have any question, leave a comment below, or you can find me twitch.tv/Pajat2. Also, I would like to thank you for my Patreons for supporting me. Thanks again guys. Thanks for watching. I was Pidget. See you next time.